Okay, here we are with my first boss strategy guide. In the first video that I did, I realized I upgraded the wrong weapon. I upgraded the saw spear rather than the saw cleaver. So we're going to go ahead and use that, since it does the most damage right now. There was also a slight echo in the first video, and I apologize for that. I got my volume on my TV turned down a little bit, and I got the gain on my microphone turned down a little bit. So hopefully that won't happen again. This first boss, I think he's designed to be the first boss you encounter, so we're going to do him first. He's got the most simple and basic approach, in my opinion, of any of the bosses. He's not that complicated. He's the only boss I can think of in the game that I killed the first time I fought him. So there's not a ton of strategy involved. We're going to do one that's just straight up fighting them, and then I'm going to do another video using a tip that you don't see. It's a trick that a lot of people don't use, and that it kind of shocks me. Because I think it's really interesting, and I think it actually can add a lot to the story. Now, I got some blood bullets there, because we're going to use some bullets in the fight, and you can burn through them with this guy because of how you have to do it. So I find blood vials easier to come by than bullets, so I try to rely on blood bullets as much as possible. And sometimes you can get those blood bullets, and they do damage to you, obviously, and then if you got an enemy nearby, you can go rally the enemy right back. Doesn't always work, and I don't necessarily mind using a blood vial to top off. Like I said, blood vials are fairly common. Alright, so we're going to come through the house and up here, and this time we're actually going to go left. And we're going to run past all these crows and this ogre guy. We're going to go through this arch. And this is where we'll encounter the cleric beast. Now, when he first comes over, you're going to want to lock onto him. And if it doesn't lock onto his head, you're going to want to flick up. So you can go down to his body, or up to his head. You want his head. Then you're going to want to unload. Sometimes it'll do it in 2, sometimes it takes more. But you unload into his head. Sometimes it seems to be impossible altogether. Like I said, you could... There. It's normally not that difficult, but this is the only way to get a visceral attack on him. Then after that, you're not going to want to lock on him. You're going to want to get at his legs. You can't get at his legs if you lock on him. You're going to want to try not to lose all your health. And you can't do the stunning trick back to back. What is going on? I'm having an unusually difficult time with him. But you go after his chicken leg, he's pretty vulnerable, and you can stun him pretty easily, especially with a cleaver weapon, with either the saw spear or the saw cleaver. Something with serrated edges, that's what we're looking for. We're going to do that bloody. Then you want to unload a few times, so that time it only took 2. Go in, do another visceral attack. Then if you can get behind him, it's great, but I lose track of what's happening. He's so big, and he takes up so much of the screen. I'll occasionally lose sight of where I am, but if you stand in front of him, he might grab you. And that sucks, because he'll one-shot you. See, I think he just did the thing, so we should be able to get another visceral attack on him. We'll just... And if you're not good with the shooting, if you're not comfortable with the shooting, just come in here, work on these knees. And that's it. He's dead. That was kind of an ugly fight. You know, the fight can definitely go a lot more smoothly. But that's the basic strategy. I'm not going to save it here, because I'm going to actually reload the save game for the second half of this video. But yeah, for the simple strategy, if you can hit the head, 2 or 3 bullets straight to his head should stun him. Then you have to wait for him to do this rage thing where he sheds a lot of blood, and then he's ready to be stunned again. And you might be able to get 2 or 3 off in a fight, and that'll take away a good chunk of his health. And then while you're waiting for him to do that, you just go in there and you chop away at those legs. If you can, try to stay beside or behind him, because if you're in front of him, he can grab you and do this slam attack thing. and that could potentially one-shot you, depending on how much vitality you have or how much damage you've taken. But that's really it. Even if you can't do the shooting, if you're not good with the shooting, you're not comfortable with the shooting, go after those legs. Just run up, stay underneath them, try to stay beside or behind him, and just hack away at those legs. Don't be afraid to retreat. Run away to the other side of the bridge, whatever side you happen to be on. If you need to heal or if you need to recover stamina, he's pretty easy to dodge. And yeah, so that's strategy number 1 for the Cleric Beast. And we will be right back with the second strategy.